how do I put this into words? Gosh, when you've been planning something for such a long time and it's this massive goal in your life to get there, and then you finally actually do it, quite often it's a little bit of a letdown because your expectations have been so unbelievably high that there is no way for the real thing to live up to them. I think ever since I heard about the Otter Trail, I've been wanting to hike it. And when we started out, our very first day on the trail, we had such terrible weather. It was kind of like the Otter Trail was telling me not to have very high expectations.
That was pretty spectacular. We actually just saw a Cape clawless otter swimming just off the shore in the rocks here. Unfortunately, by the time I got my camera out from all its waterproofing, he'd gone.
But after the clouds cleared up and the wind died down, this became the best backpacking trip that I've ever been on. And I've been trying to figure out why that is, why it's the one that sticks in my mind as the best trip that I've ever been on. It wasn't just the beautiful scenery, although it is absolutely stunning out there on the Garden Route coast, looking at the waves on the one hand and the forest and the fynbos on the other hand. It wasn't just how tough the trail was, the merciless uphills and the brutal downhills. I think the thing that actually really set this trip apart for me was the memories that I made with the people that came with me. Not the views, not the amazing vegetation or the wildlife, or even the adventurous river crossings. What I remember the most is throwing a frisbee and a ball on the beach at lunchtime on the third day, and Donovan touching the rock in the ocean and getting demolished by a wave. And Benjamin and Jonathan and Ralph braving the absolutely freezing waters underneath the Jerling waterfall to go for a swim. And Francisco and Inga cooking gourmet meals for supper every night. And Greta and Luke sharing their caramel-flavored whiskey with me to put in my tea, which was spectacular. And Neil Marie giving us yoga classes on the beach. And Finton and Ralph carrying a case of beer along on the trip and sharing with everybody. And Eon's tracksuit sparking the great debate of green versus yellow, which nearly tore the group apart. And how spicy miso soup somehow became the war cry for our entire trip.
Spicy miso soup, spicy miso soup, spicy miso soup.
And I think the best part of the trip for me was getting back home and actually not being that sad that the trip was over, because I realized that all of those people were still around and we could have all of those experiences again on some other adventure. Thank you so much to Finton, Neil Marie, Greta, Luke, Donovan, Eon, Inga, Francisco, Jonathan, Benjamin, and thank you so much, Ralph, for all coming with me on this trip and making it the trip of a lifetime. Thank you, Otter Trail, for being more than just a trail.